Hey guys, what's going on? Tyrauku here, and finally, I've actually made it into Platinum Arena. So I have to say, probably for what seems like the last 15 weeks at least, I've tried every single Sunday to push and make it into Platinum Arena to actually place. Each time it's very close, or I thought it was very close, but each time it ended up being a Gold 4 finish. Now, getting into Platinum Arena is very easy. Pushing into Platinum Arena throughout the week, a very easy thing to do. Getting into Platinum Arena and actually placing, very difficult thing to do for sure. But finally, after all those weeks, I've actually made it. Now, I've been waiting a long time to make this video. I wanted to wait until I actually placed in Platinum before I started making these review type videos, and this was the week. So this week I placed number 120 in Platinum, okay? This chest was terrible. The gear, I didn't keep a single piece. Everything was not very good substats, not very good main stats, and overall, just useless. I mean, the deflection pieces, they're not even that popular anyways, but they didn't even roll that good of substats. And the Swift Parry pieces, I'm never going to be able to even use those. Now, the Void Shard could have a Hegemon. That is a good point, and I would love to see that. Chances of that, slim to none. The Epic Tome, that'd be pretty good to book up. Well, not Hegemon. I guess I could book up. Well, I don't even know what I'm going to use that one for, but that is a very expensive Void Shard and Epic Tome. Was it worth it? Well, if you're going specifically for the rewards, not at all. Now, I am going to be pushing again next week on stream. I do enjoy doing the push. Arena is probably one of my favorite parts of the game. And most of all, I want to get one of these avatars. So my goal this month was actually to place in Platinum Arena and to get Lydia. I've done both of those. Now, I want to actually get one of these avatars. And unfortunately, like many things in Raid, the avatars are also RNG. So even if you place in Platinum Arena, you don't necessarily get one of the avatars. I believe it's a 30 to 50% chance. I'm not for sure which one, but somewhere around there, either 30% chance or a 50% chance to actually get the avatar if you place in Platinum Arena. So I'm going to try it again next week and then hopefully get the avatar finally. But today's video, what I want to go over with you guys is the teams that I used in Platinum Arena. I'm going to do kind of a brief overview, and if anybody wants any more in-depth information, definitely leave it down in the comment section below, and I'd be more than happy to answer it. But also, let me know where you've placed in Platinum Arena. If you've pushed, what is your best placing? I'm definitely interested in knowing. Now, also, while you're down there, don't forget to leave a like on the video, comment, like I said, and subscribe if you're not already. So let's jump into this and go over who I used for my Platinum Arena offense, and then we'll jump into my two different defenses, which was switched later in the video. Now, I'll also be going over the video, the last 10 minutes of the Plat reset, and I'll be skimming through that to kind of show you guys what was going through my mind and how I would pick my matches. So if anybody is either going through the lower levels of Arena or going through and trying to place in Platinum Arena, you can at least see my mindset and what my thought process was when picking matches and who I thought I could win or lose against. So first off, we have Siffy. Siffy's obviously amazing. Increased turn meter, increased speed, and block debuffs. The block debuffs, huge. It allows me to not have to worry about Torments because the block debuffs gets placed first, and then the Torments, if they were going to freeze, they're not going to be able to freeze anyways. So Siffy is an incredible champion when you're going against Torments and actually allows me to hit Torment teams. If I didn't have Siffy, I would have to build my champions in immunity gear, and I don't have quite high enough of immunity gear yet to be able to attack fast teams and if they had Torments. So now I can attack teams that are fast plus Torments. If I had no Siffy, only immunity gear, I could attack Torment teams, but they would have to be slow Torment teams, so no speed leader or anything like that. So Siffy, last week she had 334 speed. This week I was able to get her to 343 with only applying glyphs to my artifacts. So previously I didn't have any real glyphs. I mean, I did have some good glyphs on there, but I went ahead and applied my 6-star speed glyphs, which I had accumulated from a few weeks of Faction Wars finally. So that gave me a 9-speed boost, which was definitely a big help in getting me moved up. Now next after Siffy was Arbiter. Obviously you can see the trend here. It's a basic increased speed, increased turn meter into a turn meter boost, increased attack into after Arbiter is my Madame Saris, who strips the enemy's buffs and then applies decreased defense. And then after that was my Skull Crown, who was my nuke champion. So these are Skull Crown stats. I'll go back through everybody and show you guys their masteries and everything like that. But in simple simple terms, this is exactly what I was using. Siffy for the increased speed, and then Arbiter for the increased turn meter, Madame for the strip, and then Skullcrown for the nuke. So Skullcrown did all my damage. She's in Savage gear. Now she's not perfectly speed tuned, which this did cause an issue a few times. She needs to be 232 to be perfectly speed tuned, but this is pretty close. And then my Madame Saris, she has to be fast and she needs a lot of accuracy. You'll notice that her and Skullcrown are the exact same speed. Okay. Madame, I believe, is just a little bit like a decimal over Skullcrown speed. And this allows my Madame to actually go right before my Skullcrown. And ideally, if we run into any Valkyrie teams where we do our buffs with Siffy, the Valkyries will reduce my turn meters, but Skullcrown and Madame should stay very close to each other. And ideally, Madame would still go before Skullcrown each and every time, because there's nothing worse than Skullcrown going right before Madame and then messes up my whole thing. Because if the enemy has a bunch of buffs, a bunch of shields and things like that, Skullcrown can't nuke through that. So I really need Madame or any other buff stripper to go before my Skullcrown. So let's look at the Masteries. This is what we got going on here. I'll do a quick little overview, guys. If you want to maybe copy these Masteries, do something similar. I'm not going to go too in depth in them. Like I said, if you have specific questions, definitely leave them down below. But this is what we're looking at. So that is the offense team. Now, that offense, I literally used every single time I attacked in Platinum. So every fight was the same offense. I only picked fights that I could use that offense for. If I had other champions, I would definitely, or other champions built up to that level, I would definitely be swapping them in and out. But this team was very solid, performed very well as long as I attacked against teams where I was strong. Now for my defense, I also used Siffy, same exact thing. Now, this just happened more so as a coincidence. She has decent defense, she has decent HP, and she's fast. So I was like, well, I'll go ahead and throw her my defense. She's not geared specifically for defense, but she has very good stats and does make sense to be on a defense team. She even has decent resistance, which I wasn't gearing for resistance at all necessarily. This banner was just the best one that I had, so that's what I went with. Now, after Siffy was Duchess. Now, this is going to be a pretty legendary stacked team, I think. Actually, no, I had 2 epics in it as well. So we had Siffy and Duchess. I don't have any Swift parry gear, so you'll notice that as a common trend. I have no Swift parry gear, so I've had to take Duchess and gear her as high HP, try to give her a good amount of defense as well as I could. So she was just, I needed her to survive. I needed her to survive as best I could. She's not even geared to the best of her ability. I would like this to be closer to 250 speed, but that's just where I'm at. So these are what her masteries look like. And then for Seeker, I had Seeker on all of my defenses. So it was Seeker, Duchess, and Siffy. Those are like my 3 consistent champions the entire time. This is Seeker. He's in a shield set. Ideally, the enemy's going to be running a buff stripper, most likely. But if they're not, they're going to have to fight through a decent size shield. This is definitely not a huge shield, not a massive threat. But pair this with Seeker's increased defense whenever he's hit with a crit, then now we have a pretty nice defensive wall in Seeker himself. Plus we have Bulwark, which allows him to take the damage that other allies would take instead. So then our Resurrect champions, our healers, are a little bit better protected. There was 2 champions that I swapped in and out during the last, I think, 2-3 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes of Plat. At first, I had Rector Drath in there for a little while. My idea with her was to make her very tanky, the best I could, make her a decent speed. Still, all these stats, the HP, the defense, and the speed could all be increased, but she is Force Affinity. Most nuke champions in Platinum Arena are Trunda, just to be honest. It's Trunda almost all the time. The thing is with Trunda is weak affinity to Rector Drath. So my idea was that Rector would get weak hits on her more often than not, and then hopefully be able to get a res up on Duchess, get a res up on Siffy, whatever it may be, and then allow my team to come back. In Platinum Arena, you're not necessarily worried about winning. You're worried more so about making the match take a long time. So that way the person, whoever's attacking you, has to back out, because if you don't beat the person in the first nuke, or at least knock down most of their champions, it's typically a pretty good idea to just back out and go into a next match. And you'll see that in the video I'm about to show you. And then on the very end of Platinum Arena, I used Sandlash Survivor. The reason why I made the swap, and apparently Sandlash is missing their weapon. I don't think, I didn't know that yesterday. So I had switched out the weapon for Rector Drath, I think, and put it on Sandlash, but then I swapped it back and didn't even notice that. So he was actually, or she was actually with no weapon during my plat push. So that's interesting to know. But I put Sandlashed in because Sandlashed has this ability where she places a 50% ally protection on all allies for 2 turns when they drop below 50%. Also places a block damage buff on this champion. So basically, I get nuked, and then Sandlash just puts everything on hold, assuming everybody survives, assuming she survives. If she just gets one shot, then it's not that good. So I had her in there at first. She was getting beat pretty quick. So I put Rector Draft in next. And then I was hoping that people would just scroll through, see my name, click it, know, hey, I can fight Tyrauku with this team and win. Well, now I have my team switched up, so they have to think a few more seconds about it. They get in the match, and if they don't one-shot the Sandlash team, then they're probably going to back out. That's why I made this swap the last, I think, 2 minutes, because in the last 2 minutes, people are looking for matches that are going to take 30 seconds. If the match is going to take a minute or longer, people are typically want to just back out because that's a very long time, especially when you're getting hit so frequently in Platinum Arena when you're going for those pushes. So those are the champions I was using. Let me go over here and pull up the video for the actual plat push, and we'll go over this. So this is the last, as you can see, maybe, let's see if you can see that, the last 10 minutes and 32 seconds we have over here. So as you can see, I'm in gold 4 right now and about 30 points out. This happened several times throughout the push. It was very, very nerve-wracking. But like I said, I'm using the exact same offense every time. I'm using that Arbiter Leader into Siffy, into Madame, into Skullcrown. So right now I'm scrolling through teams. Whenever I'm seeing teams with like Warlord with a Arbiter, this is going to be a fast team. And I know a lot of these are going to be fast, even if it has like a Siffy as a leader. Warlord teams kind of scare me because Warlord can be easy or he can be a very, very big pain. If he casts that ability that actually increases the cooldowns of your abilities, it can just ruin your entire run. So a lot of people build Warlord pretty fast. So I'm going through here. I see that the Siffy is a leader. They're not going to be a very fast team. They have no speed booster whatsoever. I know, hey, they do have a lot of defensive abilities. So, hey, as long as I can strip them with my Madame, who has pretty high accuracy, I should be perfectly fine. So my Skullcrown ends up doing very well. Now, Rotos is a problem a lot of times because what Rotos does is he can only take, I think, 50% of his max HP and any damage, and then he cuts in and kills my Skullcrown every single time. These matches, I expect them to last me a little bit longer than a team without Rotos, but I know that in most cases, I can nuke these teams down. Rotos sometimes is a problem, but in this case, he wasn't, so that was great. Siffy is very, very crucial because I'm able to sleep the enemy, say, Siffy. If Siffy survived, I'm able to sleep her, and then she can't res. So I'm scrolling through here. I look at the hedgy teams. I don't hit the hedgy teams because while I do have the champions I could use to hit the hedgy teams with, I am so comfortable with this team. I don't really have the luxury of being able to swap around my champions because I'm in gold 4 right now, not actually in Platinum Arena. So I have to pick matches that I know I can win. And as you can see right there, I was talking about matches have to be very quick, okay? We're even 10 minutes out. I went into this match, and as you can see, they have a lot of buffs up. Big shield from Krisk. And then we have Necrit, who makes things even more difficult. And he has an unremovable Ally Protect. And as you can see here, this Duchess has more resistance than I do accuracy. So my Madame has almost 700 accuracy. This Duchess has more. We do have Siffy as the leader with even more resistance added. So as you can see, I didn't remove everything. I go to nuke with my Skullcrown. The nuke, not that much damage. Maybe I could have stuck that out. Maybe I could have won. But the way things look right now, it wasn't going to win. What would happen is I would kill everybody. Duchess would still be alive, perfectly fine. And then she would just resurrect everybody. So this match, I may have been able to win, but it would have taken like 4 to 5 minutes. And when there was only 10 minutes left, I just couldn't make sense of that. Now this one, I think was another team. It was like Tormund. Okay, they're not fast. This kind of team, if you had a Arbiter in immunity gear or something like that, you could fight this team. If you had your champions built out in immunity, you could fight this no problem, and you wouldn't even have to be that fast because there was no real speed threat against this team. So overall, it's just a pretty easy clear. Tormunds are annoying just because they do that res thing and then freeze to take less damage. So here, I don't know what I was thinking. There's no way I was actually going to fight that hedgy team. But let's go ahead and fast forward this. You're just going to see a lot of me hitting these kind of teams. This does have a speed booster though. And I'm going to show you guys in a little bit why I was starting to hit teams with Arbiters and no other speed booster, but Arbiter being the only speed booster. So actually that was after I'd already placed. You can see myself in the background. I was getting pretty excited. But I was getting excited. I was getting hopeful, I guess you could say. I was thinking I was going to place. I wasn't 100% sure. Let's scroll back into about the last few seconds or few minutes or whatever. This was a long match, but we're in the last 4 minutes now. This match, Valkyrie is a champion who I'm a little bit hesitant to fight a lot of times because she does throw off the speed tunes, which I don't love. My Skull Crown does have counterattack, which is nice. We do strip everybody here, and my Skull Crown will go for the nuke. I don't think she gets it. I don't think she kills everybody. Okay, so the Duchess and the Siffy are both still alive, which is a big pain. Luckily, I think we do end up beating this team. Let me go ahead and fast forward a little bit through this and show you guys what goes on. So slow match. But then we go into this next one, and I think at this point I start hitting a little bit faster teams. So this one's a slower team. I know, hey, defensive leader, they're not going to be fast. My only threat was either not removing the shield, which I looked at their player power, which is a good determination of like where their resistance is at. Their player power wasn't anything like absurdly high, so I felt pretty comfortable hitting this, and it worked out perfectly fine. However, Coronar is a threat to me. I don't love Coronar. He's definitely a champion who can make things take a lot longer and is pretty annoying. I stripped everything there though, and basically cleared everybody anyways. So that was a pretty quick win. We ended up winning this, like I said. And then I believe right here is when I actually start hitting teams that are a little bit faster. Now this team, the player power is really low. Player power can tell you a few things. One, it's a good determination of how much resistance is on the team. If the team is very defensive and the player power is very high, they probably have a lot of resistance on their champions. However, if the player power is very high, like this team, as my team is higher player power, not very high, but my team is a higher player power. This team is a pretty low player power compared to mine, at least. That lets me know, hey, this person probably doesn't have a very well developed nuker, at least, because player power heavily comes from crit rate and resistance. So if this has very low crit rate, assumably, then I know, hey, they're probably not going to be faster than me. And even if they are, the nuker probably isn't going to be that big of a threat. And luckily, they weren't faster than me. I go through, do a quick nuke. Skull Crown is able to one-shot everybody, luckily. And then here is where I finally get into Platinum Arena. So now I'm going through this again. Same thing, no speed booster. They have Duchess as speed leader, not a big deal. Mortu Macabre is a worry though, and he's definitely a threat for a lot of my teams because whenever you hit him, he has a chance to proc that secret ability. If you're going through Nightmare Campaign, you already know that. That secret ability is super annoying. A lot of people put him in Swift Parry gear, like you see here, and I don't know if he has a secret ability up or not, so I'm very scared of him because if he block revives on my Skull Crown, it's going to make this match take so long that I'll probably just give up on it. So my goal here is just to kill him as soon as possible. There's no res threat right now, and then the rest of this match is just getting rid of this stupid annoying Tormund, who I hate so much because they res and they freeze themselves and it makes everything take so long. So let's go ahead and go into this next match, whenever that is, and see how everything plays out. So I did start picking some faster teams. So this one's not a faster team. Same thing, exact same thing with the Mortu. You'll notice my teams I'm hitting are more of the defensive teams. No speed teams yet, because I'm still very scared that my Siffy is not fast enough. So honestly, it wouldn't even matter if my Siffy got the speed boost so far, because she's doing perfectly fine beating these teams anyways. And I don't think non-speed would have even made a difference. Like I said, though, I think I start hitting some teams that are actually a little bit faster. Another team that was slow, very annoying defense. They hit hard for sure. This was one of my last teams, I think, actually. So we have a minute 16 seconds left in the in Platinum Arena reset. So at this point, I guess I'm not taking any risky battles. Yeah, so I'm just trying to stay away from risky battles. Maybe I do one more after this. I think this was my very last one, actually. I thought that I took some speed battles. Maybe I did earlier on in the plat push. But what I want to show you guys is the difficulty it is to speed tune a team if you don't have a speed buff and a speed booster. So we fast forward through this, and in the background, I'm getting all worried back there, like, okay, I'm in Platinum Arena. I think it was like 3:59 right now. It resets at 4 o'clock. So I see that I'm in there, but that doesn't really mean anything because you can get hit a lot from defense, okay? And I was definitely not winning all my defense battles. So I was definitely moving around a lot back there, getting worried. But we go ahead and fast forward through this. I get out, and the first thing I do as soon as I get out, I'm like, okay, I don't know if I placed because there's no red dot down here yet, so I can't see it. But I know, hey, if I go to my battle log and there's not very many losses, then chances are I probably placed. But go into the battle log, and boom, I have 2 victories back to back in the last few seconds, and I know, hey, I think chances are I placed, and I was definitely excited at that point. I back out though, and I go to my player. I didn't see no red dot up there, so I assume, hey, I probably didn't get the icon, unfortunately. And then we finally, I think I saw a sneak peek of it right there. I don't know. There was some point where actually, yeah, right there, right there. That split second. It was right here. It pops up, and you'll see my face. Let me hide my webcam right here for a second. You'll see my face. It changes. I was like, "Yo, did you see that?" So I got really excited for a second. That split second just lit up my face. It was definitely an awesome experience. But let me show you guys real quick what going through the arena, the difference between having a champion like Siffy into Arbiter or Apothecary into Arbiter makes. Okay, so my speed champion was Arbiter. My fastest champion was Siffy. And then I had Arbiter next. And let's just do Madame. These won't really matter. We'll just plug them in. Madame and Skullcrown, all right? So right now, Madame and Skullcrown would need to be, change this to 334. No, 343. So she's going to use her A2 ability, which is her speed boost and everything like that. And then Arbiter's using her A3 ability. So to be speed tuned, this is what I would need. I would need 295 speed on my Arbiter, 231 speed on my Madame, and then 233 speed on Skullcrown. Now, let's say I took Siffy and just moved Siffy to my second fastest champion and then had Arbiter, the exact same speed as my Siffy, so 343, and used her as my first champion, and Siffy went next. All right. So Arbiter uses her A3. Siffy can be slower. Siffy can be 280 speed now, whereas Arbiter had to be 295 speed. But the issue becomes that, so Siffy can be 256, but then Madame and Skullcrown both have to be 10 speed higher. The reason why is because turn meter boosting gives you a very front heavy benefit, okay? So you get a turn meter boost initially, but those champions who are in the 3rd spot and the 4th spot don't get that continual turn meter boost, whereas with the speed boost happens and that stays with them throughout everything. So having a champion speed boost first and then having your turn meter booster like Arbiter, like Gorgorab or anything like that works out much better. So if you're looking to speed tune your team, always keep in mind you want to have the speed boost first and then start working on your other champions. And what this helped me with and what this told me was that those teams that had, say, an Arbiter into I believe it was like a Foley, and then it was like a Mountain King, maybe for a shield set or something, and then a Skullcrown. So it was all nuke heavy teams, okay? This Arbiter could be 350 speed, and she would go before me, but the other champions would have to be such high speeds, such crazily high speeds, that there was no way that those champions could have those speeds and be able to do damage, okay? So whenever you see teams that have a speed booster like Arbiter, and you know your champion's fairly fast, but they have all DPS champions, no turn meter manipulation of any kind, nothing like that, then you can be pretty safe in knowing that, hey, if I go against this team, I'm probably going to win the speed battle, even if I don't win the very first turn. If I don't take the first turn, I'll still probably cut in and have a perfectly fine team. That's the importance of actually speed tuning your team, because if your team is not speed tuned, then even if you do cut in a few turns, the enemy's nukers could actually cut in after that, and then that's where you end up losing the matches. So keep that in mind. If you are building your teams, you could either build them with increased speed champion at first, an apothecary, something like that. Haikatoon works perfectly fine as well. Or do a double speed booster thing like a seeker, an arbiter, and then a seeker. This works perfectly fine as well. Your next people to go are still needing a higher speed requirement, but in general, this is much slower than if you used somebody like a Siffy there. So you could do double turn meter boost. That works okay. But the best way to go is have a speed booster, like an actual speed buff first, into turn meter boost, into your DPS, whatever it may be. Works out very well. It's very, very easy to speed tune a team like that. Obviously, you can get into things like decreasing their speed, decreasing their tar meter, and that helps out a whole lot as long as you have the accuracy to actually do that. But in general, guys, I hope this gives you some kind of value. I hope you enjoy watching this video, and be on the lookout for more, because next week we should do the exact same thing and another platinum reset video should be coming out. So thank you all very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.